Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into today's story, and trust me, it's a powerful one, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the heartfelt moments we cover about your favorite stars. Because what I'm about to tell you about Dylan Wang's emotional speech dedicated to Shen is one of those rare times where a celebrity moment feels completely real and raw. I've been following Dylan and Shen for years, like many of you. From their breakout in Meteor Garden to their individual projects, to the quiet, whispered rumors of their closeness off-screen, we've all watched them grow. But nothing prepared me for what happened on stage the other night. Dylan Wang, usually composed, charming, and playful in public appearances, stood under the lights, microphone in hand, and gave a speech that literally brought tears to his eyes, and to mine sitting behind my phone screen. Let me set the scene for you. This was at a major awards ceremony, the kind with the glittering backdrop, the long red carpet, and the live stream watched by millions. Dylan had just won an award for his latest drama. The crowd was cheering, cameras were flashing, and you could see his smile as he walked up to the stage. At first it seemed like any other acceptance speech. But then something shifted. His tone softened, his voice cracked just a little, and he started talking about gratitude, not just for his team and his fans, but for one person in particular. He said Shen's name. The moment he did, there was an audible gasp in the room. I swear you could feel the energy change even through the screen. Dylan took a deep breath, looked down for a second like he was collecting himself, and then started to speak directly from the heart. He thanked Shen for being his inspiration, his support system, and, in his words, the light that guided me through the hardest days of my career. The camera cut to Shen sitting in the audience, and she had her hands clasped, eyes glistening. It was one of those unguarded moments where two people forget the world is watching. I was sitting there, phone in my hand, heart pounding. You know when you've suspected something for a long time, and then it's confirmed in a way that's even more beautiful than you imagined? That's exactly how it felt. As he spoke, Dylan's voice trembled. He admitted that the past few years had been a whirlwind, with highs and lows, and that Shen had been there quietly behind the scenes, encouraging him, reminding him who he is when the spotlight felt too heavy. He even said, I wouldn't be standing here without her, and you could hear the crowd start to murmur, some people even clapping mid-speech. What got me was that he didn't frame it like a PR moment. This wasn't rehearsed or polished, it felt like something he just had to say. His eyes were red, his hand gripping the microphone like he was holding on to courage itself. He paused, smiled at Shen and said, thank you for believing in me when I doubted myself. And then, I kid you not, the audience stood up. A standing ovation during an acceptance speech. That's how powerful it was. Shen's reaction was just as moving. She stood too, tears in her eyes, and gave him a small nod. No over-the-top gestures, just a quiet, profound acknowledgement. In that instant, years of speculation, fan edits, shipping hashtags, all of it, felt validated. But more than that, it felt like we were witnessing a human connection deeper than celebrity gossip. This was gratitude, affection, maybe even love, expressed openly and vulnerably. I'll be honest with you guys, I cried. Sitting on my couch, watching through a tiny screen, I felt tears running down my face. Because beyond being a fan, beyond wanting to know who's dating who, there's something universal about watching someone publicly honor the person who's helped them grow. It reminds you of your own relationships, your own mentors, your own loves. That's why Dylan's speech hit so hard. It wasn't just about him and Shen, it was about all of us. After the speech, social media exploded. My timeline was nothing but clips of Dylan's trembling voice, screenshots of Shen's reaction, and hashtags like hashtag Dylan Wang speech, hashtag Shen inspiration, and hashtag we love you Dylan trending within minutes. Fans from all over the world were writing messages like, I'm sobbing, this is what true respect looks like, and he finally said it. Some even posted their own stories of being inspired by Dylan and Shen, making the whole event feel like a giant global group hug. Of course, there were debates too. Some people argued this was his way of confirming their relationship. Others thought it was simply a beautiful thank you between close friends. But honestly, does it even matter? Whether it's romantic or not, the courage to express that kind of appreciation on such a big stage is rare, and it deserves respect. And if you ask me, the way he looked at her said more than a press release ever could. I've been replaying the moment where his voice cracked. He said something like, "Sometimes you meet someone who changes your life without trying, who reminds you of your own dreams when you're lost." He paused, wiped his eye, and then smiled, that smile we all know from his dramas, but softer, more vulnerable. You could almost hear the collective intake of breath from the audience. From my perspective as a longtime follower, this feels like a turning point for both of them. Not just because of the possible personal revelation, but because it shows they're stepping into a new level of authenticity with their public personas. Fans can feel the difference between a canned speech and a heartfelt one, and Dylan's was as heartfelt as it gets. That makes me excited to see where they go next, both professionally and personally. I also want to say something to anyone watching who feels moved by this. Don't be afraid to tell the people who've helped you how much they mean to you. You don't need a stage or a trophy, you just need a moment of honesty. That's one of the quiet lessons hidden in Dylan's speech. Gratitude spoken aloud has power. It builds bridges, it deepens connections, and it reminds us we're not alone. And before I forget, if you're enjoying this kind of deep dive into the human side of celebrity life, make sure you're subscribed. This channel isn't just about headlines, it's about the stories and the feelings behind them. We're building a community here of fans who celebrate our favorite stars with kindness and empathy, and I'd love for you to be part of it. As for Dylan and Shen, I think this moment will be remembered for a long time. Years from now, when people look back at highlight reels of his career, they won't just show the dramas or the awards, they'll show this speech. Because it's not just a footnote, it's a defining moment. And for Shen, sitting there in the audience, receiving that dedication in front of millions, it must have been overwhelming in the best way. I'm still a little emotional talking about it now. It's rare to witness authenticity like that, especially in an industry that can feel so manufactured. Dylan reminded us that behind every polished performance is a human being with a beating heart, and behind every successful person is someone who's been quietly cheering them on. So here's to more moments like this. Here's to celebrities who aren't afraid to be real. And here's to all of us, taking inspiration from them to be braver and kinder in our own lives. Thank you for spending this time with me, for feeling these feelings with me. If you cried watching the clip, or even just felt your chest tighten a little, you're not alone. We're all in this big fandom family together. Drop your reactions in the comments below. Did you see the speech live? How did it make you feel? Do you think it was Dylan's way of confirming something deeper, or simply a beautiful thank you? I'll be reading your comments and replying because I really want to know how this moment landed with you all. Until the next video, keep celebrating authenticity, keep showing gratitude, and keep believing in the power of genuine connection, whether it's between celebrities or in your own life. Dylan and Shen just reminded us how powerful that can be.